My peoples, get ready for that smoke, y'all. Get ready for that smoke. Peoples, this is Goofiest of the Oofiest, the podcast. Y'all already know what we do on here. We talk boxing. Only difference is you're gonna be able to call in and chime in. Salute to everybody who has already showed up in the building. Side, my guy, bam. You already know what we do. You already know what we about to do. Um, First of all, man, I want to say shout out to everybody who showed love to Jay Smith. I know some people checked in and checked out, but check it. Check me out. In this debut episode of Goofiest of the Oofiest, we're going to be talking about Terrence Crawford and Canelo Alvarez potential rematch. You know, what Crawford is saying, or supposedly, right? I haven't seen him actually say it, but what's being floated around is that Crawford wants $100 million, 100 M's to fight Canelo Alvarez. Oh, wow. That's interesting. That is interesting. Terrence Crawford says, I need 100 million. Shaku Hands, my brother. Bam! You already know. We in the building. We in the building. We about to get it in. Shaku Hands, that phone number about to drop real soon. But Terrence Crawford says he need 100 mils to fight Canelo Alvarez in a rematch. That's what, like I said before, that's what they're saying. I haven't seen a video of Crawford actually saying he wants 100 million. That's the figure that's being floated around. And they're saying that's the amount of money he wants. Now, you know, fans are criticizing. There's fans saying that he shouldn't get that figure, which I don't even understand why. I say, if he's asking for 100 million and you want to fight him, you're going to have to pay that amount. You're going to have to give him his money. So this is a topic of conversation that we're going to address. And of course, we're going to talk about Devin Haney, Ryan Norman Jr. Shaku Hands, you up late in the UK? Damn, what time is it in the UK right now? I wonder. But again, my peoples, this fight right here, you have to consider how it all played out versus what people expected to happen. This is one of those. Both of these fights have that element to it. If you think about it, in both cases, people thought that the guy who won was going to lose and get knocked out. Think about it. People were confident that Bud Crawford was going to sleep. And that was also the case with Devin the Dream Haney. Oh, he's going to sleep. He's getting knocked out. Well, whoa. Round number 2 had people nervous. So, those are the 2 fights we're going to be talking about, my peoples. Let's go back here. Bam! Those are the main topics of conversation. Of course, more discussions will come up along the way, but that's the first 2 subjects. We'll kick this thing off with Terrence Crawford in a couple of minutes. I'll take a quick commercial break, and I'll be back with you guys, my people. Stay tuned. We about to go in, y'all. My peoples, we back in the building. We back in action. So, main topic of conversation for the first episode of Goofiest of the Oofiest. Terrence Crawford wants $100 million to rematch Canelo Alvarez, or at least that's the figure that's being floated around. Fans are divided. There's fans that are saying no. Well, I gotta say it from right now. It's mostly the fans who say he was gonna lose that fight are now saying no, he's not worth that amount of money. He shouldn't get no $100 million. We gotta dissect it. Why some people are okay with it, why some people hate it. And then, of course, the whole situation with Devin the Dream Haney, Brian Norman Jr. How did that play out? Not exactly how people expected it. Not quite what people thought was going to happen. Devin was out there with that bazooka-like jab, trying to decapitate somebody. And, you know, gave the hands, gave the business to Brian Norman Jr. People wasn't expecting that. This is not exactly the way people thought it was going to play out. So, my peoples, chime in. Let me know what you guys think about, first of all, first topic of conversation. By the way, my peoples, by the way, the phone number to call in, some of you may have it, is going to drop within the next few minutes. So we're going to talk about this fight, this potential rematch, right? Potential. The possibility that Terrence Crawford and Canelo Alvarez may fight again. We're going to talk about that for a little bit. And then the phone number is going to drop and you guys will be able to call in. The stage is going to be yours for a whole minute to let loose whatever it is that you want to say, whatever you want to express. There's the topic of conversation right here, my peoples. Chime in, let me know what you think. Should Terrence Crawford be asking for $100 million? Should he get that amount of money? That's a lot of money. But that's also a lot of accomplishments. Tajon, Terrence will knock him out this time. There's no real need for it. You got him sleeping him like that? That's how it's going down? Shaku hands. Goofiest. Where y'all at? Now they gonna find out. They gonna find out and they gonna start tuning in. But let me tell you something. You have to understand. Either the Goofiest of the Oofiest are gonna call in, or y'all are gonna call in and completely debunk the stuff that the Goofiest of the Oofiest be saying. So either or, they could cook themselves or they could have someone else cook them. Shaku hands. That Omorek, he's the face. I'm trying to tell you, my boy. But listen. I'm gonna tell you what I think about it, right? I haven't seen a video or anything where Terrence Crawford himself is saying, yo, I need 100 mils. I haven't seen it, right? So I don't know if that's out there. I did see a video of Bernie the Boxer saying something like, we're going to need 100 mils, something like that. But I don't know if he was talking about the rematch or if he was talking about Crawford fighting somebody else. That I'm not sure about. But I know that $100 million was floated. That figure was floated by him. Shaku hands 100 mils would be nice going away present. Yo, listen. He wants 100 mils. Because here's the deal. And I said this before. Even before that number was floated around, I said, my peoples, Terrence Crawford doesn't have to fight Canelo Alvarez. Remember we spoke about the rematch clause, which we was wrong, by the way, because somebody told me that there was a clause, and I went with that. But here's the deal. That rematch clause, my peoples, is irrelevant. Shaku hands, he's on a world tour, world tour, my G. But listen, you have to take into consideration the fact that Terrence Crawford doesn't need a rematch. He beat Canelo convincingly. So it's not like he's trying to walk away from this fight and people think it was a robbery or saying anything about Canelo being robbed or it being gifted. He won convincingly. There's really nothing you could do about it. So for him, he don't have to fight a rematch. He don't need it. Now Canelo, on the other hand, is different. Because look at the downfall that he's experiencing as far as, look, this dude, people's talking about he's been feeling really bad, staying away from the media, staying away from that they telling him over there in the Saudis, we're going to give you mad money. I don't know if he signed those new contracts or whatever, but still, Terrence Crawford took that spot from him, the face of boxing. So now, after losing the way he lost in front of over 40 million people, that's just on Netflix alone, he wants his rematch. Now, I'm going to tell y'all something. I feel like if he knows that he cannot win, cannot beat Crawford, then why would you do this? You want to take another L? But I guess that's also going to be a bag for him too. Shot cool hands. Yup, Nella always sneaking in a rematch clause. But here's the deal with that. That rematch clause is irrelevant because it only prevents Crawford from fighting at 168, from defending those titles. It don't stop him from going to 160 and fighting over there. That's the problem. So, shot cool hands. He won payday. He won payday. That's all it is, bro. That's all it is. He won a payday. So check this out, my peoples. Right now, the phone number is about to go up. We about to be live. It's about to go down. You're going to be on speaker. Let me put that phone number up for y'all. What is this lighting off? Light off. Oh, snap, shot cool hands. I don't know if you want to be the first one to call in and chime in. But bam, my peoples, there you have it. That's the live phone number that you can call in. Boom. There goes the number. Do what you will. There goes the phone number, my peoples, for the first episode of Goofiest of the Oofiest. Now, I say don't save it. It's not necessarily going to be the same number. I'll tell you that. I'm going to give you that little hint right now. So it's going to be a hotline. Boom. Our number's going to come up. And just like that, you'll be able to call in. So there you have it, my peoples. Who's going to be the first one to dare to be great? Oh, by the way, my peoples, I was in some boxing matches on Saturday. Yo, it got serious. It got serious on Saturday, so check out the videos that are already up. Check those out, my peoples. What happened, Shaco Hands? You scared? That's on WhatsApp? Yeah, WhatsApp. Oh, hold on. Hold on, I'll make it easier for you. Hold on. I want to make sure. Bam. See it? You see it? Oh, damn, Shaco Hands, you trying to be about that smoke already? You trying to go in early on it? we'll see. We'll see who's gonna be the first caller. Shaku Hands, did you ask, am I scared? Nah, I know you about that smoke. I know you about that smoke. you, you know, it's either people getting cooked or people cooking. I know you quite equipped to cook a little sham. But my peoples, if you call it in, have your ducks on the road. Don't be making up no fake news. Don't be making up stuff out of thin air, cause then you really trying to get cooked. Then you might as well just jump in the frying pan yourself. Tay John, you about that smoke, J. Smith? Tay John, that's the phone number right there. Do what you gotta do. I'm about that smoke. I'm about that life. You show if you're about it. Shaku Hands. Yes, Tay, about that smoke too. So Tay, do what you gotta do. Do what you gotta do, my peoples. That's the phone number right there. You can call in on WhatsApp. 1-829-786-4609. This is the first episode of Goofiest of the Oofiest, the podcast. And my peoples, you know, it's only a few of us in here, but you have to understand this is the first live. This channel is real small right now, but we're gonna get it popping. Trust me. When they see what we doing out here, side in the building. Salute, Superman. Yes, it's damn near 12 a.m. here. Haha. What's the deal, side? Bam. Couldn't miss the first episode, though. We on it. We on it, my G. You see the phone number is up right there. Everybody's free to call in. It's open season, whether you want to call in to cook, whether you want to get cooked yourself. I don't know how you want to do this, my peoples. Let's see what the first call is gonna be about. Is the first person to call in Goofiest of the Oofiest gonna call in to kick knowledge or to get cooked? My peoples, the first caller on Goofiest of the Oofiest. The first caller on Goofiest of the Oofiest. Hold on, my brother. Listen. I'ma hang up real quick so you can call back and I can put you on speaker because I'm gonna put you on my laptop so that everybody can hear what you got to say, all right? So call right back. Wait 30 seconds and call right back. Here we go, my peoples. Let me see. This should have rang over here. I don't know why that did not happen. Let me synchronize this thing. I wanted to answer it. Let me see something. Who was calling? Was that you, Shaku Hands? Call again real quick. Let me see if it rings in my laptop. Call again right now. My peoples, here we go. The first caller on Goofiest of the Oofiest. I don't know why that didn't ring in my laptop. Let me see something. Yeah. Tay John. Ooh, Tay John in the building. Dial again, Tay John. Let me see. Because I got my laptop, and that's where I was trying to answer it, but it didn't let me. I don't know why it didn't let me. All right, Tay, hit me up. I don't know why. You know what? Let me see. Tay, hold on. Give me a second. I'm going to save your number. I'm going to save your number to see if maybe that way it works. What's the deal, fam?
What up?
What's the deal, man? Who? First of all,
Man,
first
what happened to you?
first of all, man, we got the epic first call on Goofiest off the Oofiest. Go ahead, state your name, gangster.
It's your God, it's fulfilling. You know what I'm saying? I'm happy for you, though, Jay Smith. You got the show, you got the hotline, and the listen to you for a minute, you know? That shit about to be lit.
Yo, Tay, first of all, salute my brother. Appreciate you being the first caller on Goofiest of the Oofiest. And you know that we already know that this show is about that smoke. We know we ain't about playing no games. Terrence Crawford won $100 million for his rematch with Canelo Alvarez. What say you, Tay John?
Well, like I told you this morning, I'm a Terrence Crawford fanatic. Like, he's the best in the era. For sure. Like, and there's music not better than him, anyway not better than him. He's the best at his time. But I feel like these boxers are outpricing themselves with these $100 million, asking Turkey for $100 million and asking networks, and all this money is gonna dry up. And I'm not saying Terrence Crawford don't deserve it. I'm just saying boxing in general, these boxers, there's no way to recoup that money. $100 million purse for me and $100 million purse for you. There's no way for Turkey or anybody to really recoup that money. So it's like they're asking for too much, in my opinion.
Okay, I feel you. No, listen, you make a very reasonable talking point because at the end of the day, we want the sport to thrive. We don't want, promotional companies or networks to go broke because they overpaying. In the case of Terrence Crawford, I do agree that he should ask for whatever he wants. He the face of boxing. Give him his $100 million, my G.
I see that, and I hear you, because he's the face, he's the best pound for pound, but and I'll be happy for him to get that 100 million. Like, I'm not hating on him. I want him to get that 100 million. But at the end of the day, it's I'm looking at it from a fan perspective in the sport. It's like that's Turkey's man. Now I know Turkey. He like, damn, I hooked you up. I gave you this. Now you want 100 million. I don't know if Turkey. He'll probably fuck with that for real. If I'm Turkey, I'm like, damn, I gave you this opportunity, and now you trying to pay
Tay,
me for
you
100.
making a good talking point, but he gonna get 100 million and he deserve 100 million. I can't call you goofy because you made a talking point, but pack your ass up. You out of here. Well, love, my G.
My dog.
You know it. There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. That was the first call on Goofiest of the Oofiest. My brother Tay Bam, he came through with some facts, with some good talking points. So what can I say? There's no way to really cook somebody who's coming in with the realness. First call on Goofiest of the Oofiest. Yo, John Parham, you already know it, my brother. You can feel free to get down. Feel free to get down, my peoples. Yo, was you guys able to hear Tay John? Was you guys able to hear what he was saying? Good. Listen, Tay definitely gave us a good call, the first call on Goofiest of the Oofiest, and he makes a valid talking point. Like you don't want if everybody's asking for X amount of money, everybody's not gonna get that amount. You can't be asking for just I want $100 million. I agree with that, but when it comes to Terrence Crawford, yeah, he could take that. He could get that. No Diddy. For sure. 100 mils. Shot cool hands. Turn up the volume. I'm gonna have to use a different device, man. Next time I won't be able to right now. I'm literally trying to put the speaker next to the phone and as loud as it goes, but I'm gonna have to Yeah, I'm gonna have to hook it up to another device, but I can't do that now. That it'll be a lot louder. John Parham, is 100 mils a record? It's not a record. Floyd Mayweather has made more than 100 mils. Side technical difficulties. Shakuhan, side, call in. My peoples, don't be afraid to express your views, to say what you gotta say. There's the number right there. Bam. So, look, man, everybody is not gonna have the same perspective on, whether or not Crawford should receive that amount of money. But come on now. Who can't ask for that amount of money in boxing? That's all I'm saying. John Parham, at 168. Oh, it's 100 million a record at 168? That I don't know. If you think about it, 100 mil is probably going to be a record at every weight class, because outside of Floyd Mayweather, who's made $100 million, over 100 million? Floyd Mayweather, Manny Pacquiao, and I guess that's it. Who else has made more than 100 million in a fight? I don't think there's. So I think that will be a record for pretty much every division outside of wherever Floyd and Pac-Man fought. Because you got to remember, the record purses were in the 30 to 40 to $50 million range. And then Floyd Mayweather just blew the lid wide open. Side, I'm just watching from the sidelines for the smoke. Enjoying the smoke, huh? No, and let me tell you something, my peoples. It's not the same like going live on Box Center, because of course, we're talking about a lot more subscribers, a lot more people tuning in, a lot more people know about the show. But we're gonna get this thing lit. Trust me. There's a lot of people that I know that the moment they run into this, they're gonna be like, oh yeah. Let me contradict Jay Smith. MAW, JP, Size, Superman, salute, brother. MAW in the building. Bam. Salute. Tay John. That was some good shit, Jay Smith. Yo, I appreciate you calling in, my brother. And it's like I told people, everybody's not gonna call in with a bad talking point. Some people gonna call in with a real good one. So I think, Tay John, your call was real good, because it shows how we can have opposing perception, yet still have a reasonable convo about it. This is actually what boxing conversations should be like. I'm good with the 100 mils, you're cautious about it, and we go back and forth and express our opinion. Damn, if it was always like that. But it's not. There's going to be people calling in requiring to get cooked, needing to get cooked, wanting to get cooked. My peoples, there's the phone number. I'm giving it a few minutes before we shift to another topic of conversation. Again, Terrence Crawford, is asking for the 100 mils. I'm with it. I'm with the 100 mils. No problem whatsoever. Shako hands. My phone is the goofiest of the oofiest. Now listen, download WhatsApp and you see the number 1, right? Just in case. If you have it on WhatsApp and you dialing it from the States, you got to make sure you put that 1 in the beginning. John Parham, Buzz said if he don't get 100 mil, it's not happening. Well, there you have it. And it's funny because I literally said that on yesterday's episode of of Boxing for Breakfast. I literally said that. I said, look, Crawford is in a position to say, Yo, give me the 100 mils, or we're not fighting. Simple as that. And look, it turns out that that's exactly what he's saying. So, and and I told everyone, Terrence Crawford has the leverage to say and do that. Why? Number one, he won the first fight convincingly, or the only fight, obviously, convincingly. And number two, he got money. He's not in need. He don't need a rematch. He don't need a payday. If Crawford, you see that narrative that's always been floated around about Crawford needing a payday, and he needs money, and he not making money like that. Like, that's always followed him throughout his career. This guy's wealthy. Crawford's bag is already secured. With the type of money that he already got, with the businesses, with the investments, with the endorsements. Yo, Crawford could retire right now, never box a day in his life. Let that sizzle in your spirit. Never box a day in his life. And he good. He's good. His kids is good. So the notion that he's broke, that he don't got money like that he need to pay that, that's false. He don't have to fight. If he wants to, he don't fight. You can just say, you know what? I'm going to sit this one out, baby. Pay me what I want. I can sit this one out. And there's always going to be resistance when somebody takes that stance. But I'm going to remind y'all, the first time Floyd Mayweather said 100 M's, people thought that was ridiculous. People thought that was crazy. Everything that they're saying now about Crawford, it's exactly what they were saying about Floyd. That, nah, how you gonna ask for that much money? What are you talking about? That's impossible. MAW, Bob versus Canelo rematch could be another very entertaining fight if it happens, in my humble opinion. People can have all the different opinions on it. Bud should get 100 M, but ultimately, it's up to whoever's willing to pay that. Yep, I agree with you 100%. No. Ultimately, it's not. You see, you're framing it from who's willing to pay that. And that's the wrong way to go, because whoever's willing to pay that is not the superstar here. Ultimately, it's on whether or not you give Crawford what he wants. You give it to him, you get the fight. You don't give it to him, you don't get the fight. That's the way you have to frame an MAW, because who's the star here? It's Crawford. He's the one saying, the topic of conversation is the amount of money that he wants. And he'll either fight for that amount or he won't fight. Are you willing to give it to him? No problem. He's not going to fight. We don't got to fight. How bad do you want the fight? How bad does Canelo want the fight? How bad is he going to push for Crawford to get the money so he could get the fight? You're not going to push for it? You think I don't deserve it? Cool. We don't have to fight. Have a good life. Have a good career. I'm straight. Side, John Parham, facts. It's negotiation tactics. Tay John, AJ Smith. I just got a text from Verizon saying I got long distance charges. Make a Google voice number. Nah, bro. You didn't dial in correctly. WhatsApp is a free app. You do that through Wi-Fi. You called in directly, bro. If you have WhatsApp, it's actually the same as the app that you're talking about. You use that on Wi-Fi. Come on, man. Technology got you, Tay. You let technology cook you like that. WhatsApp is free, bro. Tay, I don't know what's happening. Should be free, bro. It's WhatsApp. You may have dialed both. You may have dialed on the app and with your phone. But WhatsApp is free, bro. It's an application that you use over Wi-Fi. In fact, let me show you. You can even disconnect the data on your phone and use the Wi-Fi to connect to WhatsApp and still dial without no data on your phone. A device that doesn't have any data or any plan, you still dial on WhatsApp. So my peoples, again, that will be a main topic of conversation, whether or not Terrence Crawford should get $100 million for this rematch. I think I did both maybe. Yeah, that's what happened because you can do both. When you save the number, you may have dialed it from your phone and then dialed it from WhatsApp. And they both ran concurrently. Shaku Hands, Goofiest. That's why I gotta see what's good with my Oofiest phone. Ah, you see? There you go. So you don't dial from your phone. You download WhatsApp. You go into WhatsApp, and that's where you dial from. That's a free call. Free of charge, baby. You don't gotta pay a cent. So Tay, damn Tay, you see, you couldn't save yourself. The first call, you had a good talking point. That's a real good talking point. You know, but dialing from your normal phone, that was the goofiest of the oofiest. You didn't save yourself. Tay, I'm sick. Man, damn, man. You called in with a good talking point, but the goofiest of the oofiest anyways. There you have it, my peoples. I thought it wasn't gonna happen, but it did. So look, let me know what you guys think about the rematch. How do you think that this rematch plays out? MAW. That's true, Jay. Yes. But at those kind of numbers, surely someone will be running at a loss. Surely. That's why I framed it how I framed it. But that's the thing. Think about it. Who are you a fan of? Are you a fan of the fighters, or are you a fan of the people investing? So you're framing it from the perspective that the investor is going to lose. Why not frame it from the perspective that the fighter is going to make a lot of money, or that he's not willing to do it? So you see, you're taking the side of the investor. Oh, well, somebody's going to lose. Why would you even care if somebody loses? I don't know, and I don't care. That's not something that I'm pondering. Because the person that you're saying is going to lose has a lot more money than both of them combined. Why would you worry about them losing? Think about it. When you go in the supermarket, a big supermarket, think about it, and you find out that somebody stole a peanut butter cookie, do you really care? Like, damn, man, somebody's gonna lose, man. They stole that little peanut butter cookie over there. Shit, the investor, he's gonna be down and out. Like, you talking about what they're gonna lose? Come on, bro. These are people with billions and billions of dollars. They're not gonna lose. If you think about what they have won, what they have made, they're not gonna lose. That's like somebody walking to a casino and they walk out of there with $5 million. You think the casino lost with that $5 million that they lost to that guy? When that same guy's already lost over 20 mils in that same casino, and that same night there's people that lost 15, 20, 30 mils in that same casino. So the fact that this guy won $5 million doesn't mean the casino took a loss. The casino always wins. The house always wins, my guy. Never forget that. The house don't lose. Look at Bob Arum, for example. Bob Arum said, nah, I lost money on Crawford. But do you think Bob Arum, for his career, he losing? He says that, right? But he only started saying he lost money on Crawford when Crawford made it evident that he was not going to resign with Top Rank. Why he was trying to resign him. So you're trying to resign him to a third deal and you was losing money. But now when he says, nah, I'm out of here, now you was losing money. And you lost a lawsuit over that. You had to pay up for that shit. Shaku hands. Not a peanut butter cookie. But that's what I'm saying, though. Like, it doesn't matter if somebody goes into a supermarket, they could go out of there with a whole shopping cart full to the brim. Not pay for anything. And that's not going to represent to that supermarket a 1% of their earnings, of what they're going to make. That's going to be so minute, they're not going to feel it. So what are they really losing? Now, think about this. If I'm making, and this is just an example, let's say, imagine this, if you're making 100K a year, which is good money, you're not a millionaire, but that's good money. If you're making 100K a year, and somebody steals something in a supermarket, do you feel bad? Like, damn, man, wow, the supermarket is taking a loss right here, man. They're gonna take a L. You making 100K, that supermarket empire is worth $5 billion. That's pocket change to them. That's little penny drops to them. So nobody's really taking an L. My peoples, I'm gonna put that phone number back up. Just do boxing in the building. Salute, my brother. MAW, I definitely would enjoy the rematch if it happens. That's a very good if. That's a very good if, because honestly, we don't know. You know, the talking point that you made, it was still valid, although it was pro promoter side, but it was a valid talking point. Is there somebody that's going to be willing to pay that amount of money? Will somebody pay it? We shall see, my peoples. We shall see. But I'm interested. I'm interested in seeing how this develops. My peoples, once again, that's the phone number. Do not call straight up from your phone. Download WhatsApp if you don't have it. You can dial from WhatsApp, and it's free. Just make sure that you do it, over the app. MAW is in the building. Salute, my brother. Bam. Let me know what y'all think. There goes the phone number once again. Should Terrence Crawford get the 100 mils, the first caller say, yo, that's a lot of money. That's a lot of money. I'm tentative about it. And everybody can't be asking for that type of money, because then, things go downhill for boxing. Which, by the way, I don't know where them rumors came from that Turkey and them people was going to be pulling back on some of them funds and all of that stuff. And Turkey said, nah, we got a big announcement coming up. Let's see. By the way, 2026 is already around the corner. It's December 1st today, which means that TKO Boxing League is on the way. We're going to find out. We're going to find out if TKO is going to be as good as they say. They're going to make real competitive fights. Tajon, Shakur versus Tio. Woo. Listen, Tay. Shakur versus Tio is a heck of a fight going down on January 31st. What a way. And that card is crazy. By the way, that same day, I heard that they're going to have, I think, Jermall Charlo and Caleb Plant, I think, are going to fight that same day. Whoa, that's a fight that we've been asking for. They had personal situations go down. What has happened. But Shakur Stevenson versus Teofimo Lopez, that's going to be that fight where a lot of people's feelings are going to be hurt. A lot of people who can't stop, won't stop the hate on Shakur Stevenson. Man, listen, my peoples. Shakur Stevenson is going to beat him up. beat him up. And then, I don't know what's going to be the new narrative after that happens. I think it might be well, he only got one win like that, though. He's only one. Like, how many he need for you to believe it? MAW, I am not technology guy. Quite dumb with all the technological stuff. So I just stay in the chat, guys. Sorry, guys. I feel you, my brother, but nobody's dumb. That's something that you just don't mess with, and that's it. But come on, my peoples. Shakur Stevenson versus Teofimo Lopez is going to be the type of fight that you're not expecting it to play out like that. Just like Devin Haney, you wasn't expecting to do Brian Norman Jr. in the way he did. Shakur Stevenson is going to put in that work. He's going to put in that work, my peoples, I promise you. So, be ready for that fight. Start figuring out your excuses, what you're going to say. Maybe you wasn't happy with the win. He should have won differently. Or, I don't know. I don't know what it's going to be. Maybe it's going to be a close fight and you're going to say Tio got robbed, but, it's not even going to be close enough for people to say Tio got robbed. The same thing with Bud and Canelo. You saw that. There was no argument that could be made. After watching that fight, people was flabbergasted, bewildered, and perturbed. Man, that night, by the next day, I lost what was it, like 40 subscribers? Like 40 people unsubscribed from the channel, man. I like what I do. But that's the way the cookie crumbles. And this is the reason why Terrence Crawford is asking for $100 million. He like, yo, look what I gave y'all. This was all me right here. John Parham, seriously? Crazy work. 100 mils. That's $100 million face right there. 100 mils. Right there. Let it sizzle in your spirit. Let it marinate. That's it. That night, Terrence Crawford became the face of boxing. That's just the reality of it all. So, my peoples, John Parham, he should posterize it. I mean, you never know. That could already be a poster. I saw a painting. I actually saw a painting. You know those paintings that look like they do it with a brush, like with the bright colors. One of those, like on a canvas. Hilarious. But they did a good job, with the little droplets of Canelo's sweat all in the air. MAW, Shakur versus Tio should be fire, in my humble opinion. We'll enjoy. Interesting style matchup, but I've already said I'm leaning to Shakur straight up off the bat. I mean, look, I know it's going to be a competitive fight. And I said this could potentially be the first time that you see Shakur face adversity. And that he has to overcome something. That could happen. Because I know that he's going to trade more than what people think. And fight Tio more than what people think. I don't know that it's going to be the same fight as Zepeda. Because Zepeda has a whole different style than Tio. So it cannot be the same. But you're going to see Shakur putting hands on Teofimo Lopez. The way that a lot of people not expecting. It's same thing. Tio could get dropped. He could visit the canvas if he get reckless. But I don't think Tio is going to get reckless the way that Norman Jr. did. I don't think so. You know why? Because we already know that Norman Jr. underestimated Devin Haney's power. And he kind of thought he was just gonna walk right in there, in the front door of the living room and do what he gotta do. Sit down and watch TV and everything. No. Devin Haney was like, oh, you walking in my living room? Let me walk you into this kitchen real quick. Open the cabinet right there. And you're gonna see this little knuckle sandwich. Open the refrigerator. You're gonna see this left hook to the wig piece. So you saw what Devin Haney did. Now, and I think that's why those two fights are so similar. Think about going into this fight with Canelo Alvarez. What was that main narrative? That he was going to get knocked out. That Bo was too little. That Canelo was too strong. Just do boxing. Tio said he knocking Court out at 9. I can't wait to see this. Jersey about to show out. Man, he gonna knock Court out. Yeah, listen, man. I don't think he believed that. But I'ma say this. And you know this, Just Do Boxing. A lot of times when two top level guys fight, the one who says that, he knows that's the only way he could win. He know he can't outbox that man. I'm gonna knock him out. I'm gonna knock him out. You ain't gonna knock nobody out. That's just your only hope. Come on now. Come on now. That's your only hope, that you could score a knockout. I'm gonna knock him out. Sure, buddy. Sure. Like, people just go around knocking out the best defensive fighter in the game today. The guy that takes the least... I'm going to put it to you like this. The guy who takes the least punishment in boxing, the best defense in the game, period. If you go into a fight with this dude and your plan A is that you're going to knock him out, your ass is cooked. Cooked. You're going to knock him out by the knife. So what you think, that you're going to be breaking him down and shit, right? Think about it, Just Do Boxing. That's what he's suggesting. I'm going to be breaking him down. And by the knife, I'm going to get him. Oh, word? That's how you feel about it, son? You're going to get him by the knife? I think not. You ain't going to break nothing down. You barely going to land anything to break him down. So it's going to be competitive. I agree. And there's going to be you're going to land some good shots. But you're not going to land those shots with enough consistency to break them down. That's the problem. And you look, I'm not comparing William Zepeda to Teofimo Lopez. So please don't even go there, right? I never make that comparison. But I can compare their punch output. William Zepeda is a fighter who has a higher punch output than Teofimo Lopez. And Shakur Stevenson was right there inside of the phone booth with him, trading leather for 12 rounds. And William Zepeda couldn't catch him with that shot. So Shakur Stevenson, someone who has a lower punch output, you think he's going to catch him? I don't see that. I don't see that. John Parham, Tio, a big difference, of course. Of course. Tio, a big dude. A strong guy. He's stronger and he's harder than Zepeda. Shakur hands. That's how you feel about his son? In the NY slap. Come on, man. Come on. You know where we from. MAW. Tio is better fighting aggressors to counter. He is very athletic, but he has hot and core performance, like depending on outside contributing factors. Preparing though always matters most. I think you have a Teofimo Lopez who's more mature right now and understands that this is going to be the toughest opponent he has ever faced in his life. He knows that he's never been in there with nobody like Shakur. So I feel confident that he's gonna have a great training camp, that he's gonna show up, in great shape, and you can expect a Teofimo Lopez to be out there and be competitive. Let me get some images for that potential matchup, because we talking about it and looking at Canelo's face as he got lit up by the new face of boxing. John Parham, can Shakur take Teo pop? I mean, he's gonna be able to take it, of course. Listen, Shakur's aced some big shots throughout his career. He's gonna. The real question is, can he stay away from taking repeated punishment? Because then that's something. If it's coming from Teofimo Lopez, you get stopped. But he's not gonna take that type of damage. You could take that to the bank to get some pounds. Teo versus Shakur. And I'm gonna tell you, man, I'm really excited about this fight. And I think it's very interesting. I don't know if you remember, John, but I did a few polls about that fight, the possibility of that fight. And a lot of people was like, nah, yo, I don't really care for that fight because Teofimo Lopez should fight somebody else. It don't really make sense to me. I like, damn, man, people just don't want Shakur to get that big fight. They love that narrative so much that Shakur didn't beat nobody, which that's cap. Shakur's resume is solid. There's nobody in there within the last, I don't know how many years, that you could honestly say, oh, that's a bum, or this guy can't fight. That's cap. If you look at all those guys that he beat, yo, they can fight. We talking about Olympic medalists, or guys that been to the Olympics, guys that been world champions. Nah. Shakur resume is solid, it's legit. But the hate is real. The hate is real, my people, for Shakur Stevenson. And I think people get mad when I tell them, yo, this dude, he's headed for that #1 spot. At some point, it is going to be Shakur Stevenson, Jerome Boots Ennis, and a few others fighting for those, those top 4 spots. The same way we see Usyk, Bud, Inoue, we're going to see the same thing with these young guns. That's just how it's going to play out. It is going to be epic. January 31st, my people, we're going to get that smoke. Tay, Shakur dominates. All eyes will be on that fight on January. Oh, it's January 29th? Why the hell am I saying January 31st? Because I guess this is Goofiest of the Oofiest, and it's only fitting that I'm giving you some bullshit. But again, this fight right here is gonna be the one that gets Shakur to the other side. And here's what I mean by that. This fight right here is one where you'll see the naysayers. You'll see the people say Shakur's gonna get beat. Tay, it's the 31st, my bad. Oh, damn, Tay, the Goofiest of the Oofiest, too, for you. Share the live, my peoples. Let's get some people in here, man. I'm going to keep sharing the phone number so people could call in and we could get down. But this is going to be that fight where you see a lot of predictions. People say that, Shakur's going to lose. Shakur's going to get knocked out. And that's not the way it's gonna play out. It's gonna be again. It's gonna be like with Crawford and people assuming that he was gonna get knocked out by Canelo. Devin Haney was supposed to get knocked out by Brian Norman Jr. Now you got Shakur Stevenson. He's supposed to get knocked out by Tio. People just gonna keep being wrong. People gonna keep being wrong because yo Shakur Stevenson, yo he's gonna go in there to put a monster performance on for the people. He trying to get on some, yo, nah. I need to be a superstar. I'm a star, but I'm trying to be a superstar. How do you do that? By beating them up. Beating them up, my peoples. That's how you do it. Side, Goofiest of the Oofiest with special guests Rufus and Lucius. Check it, my peoples. Check it. That's the phone number right there, man. We already had the first caller, Tay John, chiming in about the first topic of conversation. Who's gonna dare to be great? My peoples, the line is open on WhatsApp. There's the phone number right there. 1-829-786-4609. Dare to be great, my peoples. You could either call in with a real good talking point, and then I have to agree with you. Or you could call in and show that you're the goofiest of the oofiest. Just do boxing. How long you gonna be on, Jay? I don't know. Honestly, I don't know. This is the debut episode. So as long as the people want to be on and we just talking boxing. So honestly, I don't know, my brother. Maybe I'll be on another 15, 20 minutes, 30 minutes. Not sure, but we're going to keep talking boxing. We're going to see if someone wants to dare to be great. Because a lot of people was asking for that smoke last week. But right now, they scared. They scared. But there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. WhatsApp, line is open. 1-829-786-4609. Yo, the goofiest of the Oofiest, the podcast. Let's get it in, y'all. Let's get it in. Who's really gonna win this fight? Who's really gonna win this fight? I gotta tell you. I understand why people say Teofimo Lopez is gonna win. I can respect that. 100%. Tay John, Brian Norman made me look stupid, Jay. Shakur won't, though. Damn, Brian Norman Jr. did you wrong, family. I mean, he didn't do you wrong, but he got done up. Man, there's a lot of factors in that fight that I think is the reason why that happened. And the main one, I would say, is because the way Brian Norman Jr. won his last couple of fights versus the way Devin Haney's last couple of fights have played out. So you figure, and a lot of people did. Devin got beat up by Ryan Garcia, and he was running, so he's scared. When he fought Jose Ramirez, he's fighting this guy who's knocking everybody out. He's done. He's getting knocked out too. But the factors that I took into consideration was the level of opposition that Brian Norman Jr. was facing versus who Devin Haney's been fighting. So, yes, Brian Norman Jr. slept Jin Sasaki in the first round, but we know that Devin Haney's no Jin Sasaki. And I think that's what happened with a lot of people. They thought Devin was going to get Jin Sasaki. Side, I got Tio getting outboxed. I think Tio will make it interesting because he's just that good of a fighter. He's that good of a fighter to where nobody cooks him. I don't think there's anyone that's just going to outright just wash him. But you will see moments where Shakur dominates him. Just the same way with Canelo Alvarez and Terence Crawford. Yes, Canelo had his moments where he was competitive and he was there. But watching that fight, you got the sense that Terence Crawford was winning and was going to win by the halfway point. Unless you had a hope, like, man, I hope Canelo, ooh, you hope he turned it around. But what you were watching, it slowly started progressing more and more in Crawford's favor to where it was obvious, like, okay, that's it. That's it. He baiting him up. Ain't nothing that Canelo could do about it. So this right here, you're going to see some competitiveness, yes, from Tio, but it's going to turn into, well, ain't nothing he could do about it. It's going to turn into that. It's going to turn into that. Just do boxing. You know me and Shakur both from Jersey. I've been watching him since he was like 16 or 17. He's special. And he's going to show Teofimo. You got it from Just Do Boxing right there, my peoples. Shakur Stevenson. And I'm going to tell you something, Just Do Boxing. I think this is the type of fight that will get Shakur the credit that he deserves from a lot of people. Of course, you know there's going to be the haters. There's going to be the people that will find one way or another to try to diminish this win. One way. Tio didn't look the same. He looked like he was going through something. That's my favorite one, yo. I don't know, man. I think Tio, mentally, he must have been going through something because he just didn't look the same out there. That's my favorite one. Newsflash, my peoples. If we're used to watching you win fights and you always winning, you're never going to look the same when you're getting your ass whooped. Okay? If you always win and today you get cooked, you're not going to look the same, bro. Come on now. They never look the same if they getting beat up. The letter M. This is the type of fight that gives Tio brain damage. I mean, it's gonna, like I said, I know that Tio is, an elite level fighter, a world champion, somebody who has earned his belts, who's done a lot already in the sport of boxing in his 20s. Side, the art of cookatith. Come on, bro. And I know that Teofimo is going to show up in great shape. But you're fighting Shakur Stevenson. What can we do? You're fighting somebody who you're not going to do what you're able to do against other people. You ain't going to do those things to Shakur. I'll say this. I expect Teofimo Lopez to try to apply pressure, to try to dictate the pace early. Because he knows I'm not going to outbox this dude. I can't outbox him. The only way that Teofimo Lopez wins on the cards is if he hurt him. If he can hurt Shakur Stevenson, like wobble him, mess up his whole equilibrium, and Shakur's not able to bounce back, then he could beat him on the cards. Like that. You see how Ryan Garcia hurt Devin Haney early? And he didn't stop him, but he dropped him multiple times, and Devin Haney was not really able to recover. That's a way for Shakur, for Teofimo to win this fight. But he's not going to do that. You're not going to land that big shot that's going to get him out of his game for the rest of the fight. Tay John. Oh, okay. I live in Williamstown. Going towards AC. So my peoples, look. We're really close. Well, not really close, man, because the whole month of December has to pass. And then the whole month of January. We're like 2 months away, man. 8 weeks. Damn. Feels like it's forever before we get this fight. But, man, I can't wait. And, look, the receipts are there. Before they even talk to each other to make this fight, before anything, I was already talking about it. I was already talking about when Shakur Stevenson didn't have an opponent and Teofimo Lopez, when his fight fell through with Devin Haney, remember they was talking. I said, yo, they should fight each other, Shakur and Teo. And a lot of people was like, nah. Teo gotta fight Sobriel Matias and Teo gotta fight somebody else. By the way, Sobriel popped dirty. Let's see how that's gonna play out. Let's see how that whole situation is gonna play out with Sobriel Matias popping dirty, y'all. Side, Jake getting knocked out this month. Oh, Jake getting knocked out. You best believe he going to sleep. That's the only way I see that fight playing out. Just do boxing. Take. Oh, we're AC probably about 2 hours or so to get there. Honestly, I believe Jake Paul getting knocked out. I have to be honest. And I think he's going to get knocked out brutally. You know why? Because there's such a gap in skills, such a gap in talent that I just don't see any other way outside of him going to sleep for this fight to play out. I don't see it. Jake Paul's going to bed. I'm sorry, look, anybody that's saying no, he got a chance, he might win, he could land a punch, AJ is chinny. I'm sorry, my peoples. I'm sorry. Jake Paul's gonna get slept brutally. The whole notion that AJ might take a payday for a dive, you can forget that. AJ got a lot of money. AJ been making millions. He's been one of the highest paid boxers for a long time, my peoples. Millions and millions. So AJ don't need it. He don't need to take a dive. Remember what he did to Francis Ngannou? His whole approach to that fight, the line is open, my peoples. 1-829 786-4609. If you think about it, his approach to that fight with Francis Ngannou was, you think you're going to come to boxing and disrespect me thinking you could beat me? I'm going to obliterate you. Remember that right hand on Ngannou's dome piece? Boom! Exploded on his joint. Pause. So, I'm telling you, he's going to approach this fight with Jake Paul the same way. It's the same way. He's going in there on some, this guy really disrespected me. He really believe he could beat me. He believe I'm washed? Huh? Okay. I'm going to have to show him a lesson. And I saw an interview from AJ where somebody asked him, this is crazy. And he said, nah, it's not crazy. He want to fight. There's nothing in the contract saying that I got to take it easy or something like that. No. He want a real fight. It's going to be a real fight. And he said that dead serious. And I'm telling you, that's going to be his approach. This guy's disrespectful. He really think he could step in the ring with me? Olympic gold medalist, 2-time heavyweight champion of the world, and you really? Oh no, I'm gonna have to show you what this is really about. I'm gonna have to teach you something. I'm gonna have to educate you. MAW, Teo versus Shakur might be closer than most expect. Both are counterpunchers, but Shakur is superior. Hit and not get hit boxer. Still, Teo is athletic and competitive and will try if Shakur moves. No, I say it's going to be a competitive fight. But I say it's going to be competitive, kind of like Canelo and Terence Crawford. where Crawford didn't blow him out of the water in every round, but he had moments where he was dominating Canelo, where it looked like he was outclassing him. Shakur Stevenson is going to have those type of moments on Teofimo Lopez. John Parham, I just want to see how Jake approached this fight. Come on, all you have to do is ask me. I could tell you how Jake is going to approach this fight. You know, Jay Stradamus. All you got to do is ask me. I'll tell you. Hey, John, Jay, you seen that Usyk wants to fight Wilder? What you think? I mean, honestly, because of the size difference, that could be an interesting fight. But that's not my cup of tea. I don't want somebody... I'm not really interested. It's not just Wilder. But when you see somebody like Usyk, who's at the top of the food chain, you don't want to see him fight somebody who hasn't won a significant fight in years. You know, Wilder hasn't beat anyone at that level in years. So I say, you know, if they make that fight, Usyk, that's a cherry pick. Sorry to say it like that, but Wilder is a cherry pick for Usyk. MAW, just hope there's no NDA agreement for AJ versus Jake. Crazy fight, but we'll see. It's like I said, man, once they sign the contracts to fight and it's in the box rec, it's a wrap. It's a wrap. They fighting. And here's the deal, MAW. You're saying just hope there's no NDA in the agreement. How do you know what fights have had an NDA? Like, what details do we ever get about contracts in other fights? Why would that even be something for you to think of? When have you ever said, I hope there's an NDA? Like, why does there has to, like, you know, that's not even something that I would even think about. Like, that's not something, it's not like we get, exclusive information about contracts. We literally just in most cases, we literally just know how much they're going to get paid. Oh, they can sign a contract for 20 million, for 30, whatever it is. But we never get details, MAW, on the contract. Why? How come you're setting that bar on that fight? We don't have a clue what fights have had an NDA and which have not. But what details do we really get about fights for you to worry about that? I just hope the fight happens, because my expectations are, like, I have no reason to believe anything other than they're going to fight for real. You know, it's like you know me. You know that I'm not into the conspiracies. I'm not into the making stuff up out of thin air and making the conspiracy assumptions like, well, you know, there might be something behind this that they already got a plan. I'm not into all that. They signed the contract. It goes down in the box rec. Somebody's going to have an official win. Somebody's going to have an official loss. They do have a weight clause where they have to, AJ can't exceed over a certain limit. I know about that, but outside of that, that's it. That's it right there. MAW, Usyk versus Wilder is interesting to me. I'll try to explain the angle. I'm looking at it from Usyk's perspective. All right, go ahead. Honestly, I don't get it, because you're not going to be accomplishing anything. You're not going to be beating a champion. You're not going to be beating somebody who's... So I guess maybe a popularity factor, I can see, like, okay, he's going to fight in front of an American audience, fight an American fighter. I don't know if you're going to be looking at the business aspect of it. But as far as what I see in Alexander Usyk is that he's been accomplishing more and more and more. And it looks like that's what he's about. So fighting a guy who hasn't won a title in years just doesn't look to fit what he has been doing. But I don't know, I guess, it generates a payday, a fight in the U.S., And I don't know. I guess that's it right there. But and also, John Parham, think about this. Jake Paul was gonna have a crazy reach advantage on Tank Davis too. Now he gave away the reach advantage. And look, I'm gonna tell you how the fight is gonna play out. I'm gonna tell you how Jake Paul is going to approach this fight. The first thing that you're gonna see from Jake Paul is that he's gonna be cautious. By the way, my people, the line is open. You can feel free to call. You can feel free to call anytime. The line is open. And chime in about the whole Jake Paul thing. The way that he's going to approach this fight is that he's going to be super cautious, especially in that first round. You know why? Because he knows that this is the biggest guy he ever faced. This is the strongest guy he ever faced. This is the best guy he ever faced. So he's obviously not going to go in there, oh, I'm going to watch this guy. Oh, no. He's going to be super cautious. So you're going to see a Jake Paul using that jab and using that footwork. Because it's going to be Anthony Joshua walking him down. Remember what I told you. AJ's going into this fight like, oh, this guy think he could disrespect me. This guy believed that he's going to beat me? Okay, I'm going to show him. He's going to go in there with that approach. He's going to be walking him down to try to lump him up. So Jake Paul is going to be on that footwork. And you know what Jake is going to be relying on? Which maybe can be the case. I'm not sure, but maybe it can be the case. Jake Paul is going to be relying on him being the faster guy. Remember that I told you this, John. Jake Paul is going to go into this fight like, I'm faster than him. I'm going to be with my speed. I'm going to beat him. I'm going to outbox him. That's what he's going to go in there thinking he can do. His whole train is going to come crashing down. Everybody in his team know he's going to get beat up, but they quiet. They giving him that fake hope. Everybody there knows, damn, this guy's going to get pummeled badly. He's not on that level. You know what happens when you're in Jake Paul's position? You got a lot of money, and a lot of the people that are around you, they depend on you. Their livelihood, their paycheck is you. So you think anybody's going to be looking at him like, bro, you ain't got the skills. This guy's going to beat your ass up. You think anybody's going to have the audacity to say that to him? Nah, they're going to be like, yo, you got it, champ. You got it. You're going to get him. You're going to beat him. You can do it. We believe in you. Deep down inside, all the people know he getting beat up. They all know he getting beat up, my peoples. Hold on. So we just have to see it. We just have to see it. That's all it is. MAW, Usyk versus Wilder is interesting to me. Oh, okay. MAW, Legay, Usyk beat unified champ AJ twice. Then beat, oh, nah, man. You're going to start making all of these crazy connections, man. Nah. That's all incoherent. It all boils down to this guy hasn't fought in a long time. This guy's been getting beat up by a lot of people. Like, all of that stuff is erased by Wilder's inactivity. Well, what people, you got to remember, MAW, people look at where you're at in your career when you fight each other. Nobody really gives credit to Larry Holmes for beating Muhammad Ali. You're never going to hear nobody say, well, Larry Holmes is better than Muhammad Ali because he beat him. Why? Because Larry Holmes fought Muhammad Ali that was already washed up. Everybody knew what was going to happen in that fight. Ali's own team knew he was going to lose that fight. So all that stuff that you say is not going to change the fact that we'll go into this fight looking at Wilder like a cherry pick. All of those things from the past, incoherent, bro. Wilder's still gonna be a cherry pick. Look at the resume and where he's at today and how old he is. That's not all of that stuff is not gonna matter. When you fight somebody in their career matters, bro. That, like I said, that's the reason why they don't give credit to Larry Holmes. Or you're never gonna see nobody ever say, yo, Larry Holmes is better than Ali because he beat him. Because everybody knows Holmes beat Ali when Ali was washed up. He was done. Look, I want to show you something real quick. Side. Look at Wilder's record right there. I mean MAW. Look, MAW. I don't know if you can see that. Look. That's Wilder's record right there. So what I'm showing you is that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Wilder has lost 4 of his last 6 fights. So while you're talking about he beat this guy and all these little different things happen, like, you know, you're connecting all these dots. Like you're bringing up Tyson Fury, who beat Wilder twice. Like, he beat Wilder. Why Fury why would Usyk want to say, well, you beat him, I want to beat him too? Like, and not only that, you beat him when he was undefeated. I'm going to beat him after he has 4 losses. Last fight with a guy that nobody knows, 24-5. Like, that fight don't make no sense to me, bro. Look, if it makes sense, like, when you put all these things together, the way that you put them together, it makes it interesting to you. But honestly, it doesn't make it interesting to me at all. I don't see nothing about legacy when it comes to beating a washed-up fighter. That's why I say beating Ali did not build Larry Holmes' legacy. If anything, people was like, yo, why you fought him? Why you beat him? Why you did that to him? So I don't see how beating Wilder enhances, like, in your opinion, it enhances his legacy. In my opinion, it does absolutely nothing for it. Not a thing, bro. I don't see it. I don't see what can it do for his legacy when you're fighting a guy who's pretty much done. Done. Usually, MAW, what enhance your legacies is beating the champions, bro. It's beating the guys that are at the top. It's beating the best fighters, the pound for pound guys. Usually that's what does the legacy thing. Honestly, MAW, this is the first time. Like, this is conspiracy. Like, you know when they connect like a million dots? Like that. I've never seen somebody connect a million dots like the way that you're doing it, to bring up all these titles and bring up a guy that beat Wilder, like connect so many things to say, yeah, look, because all these things, this is a legacy win. Like, I don't see it, bro, at all. I don't see any of it. I see a fighter who's washed up, who we know is not gonna be a world champion again, who we know is not gonna beat any of the top dogs. Like, come on, bro, that's a cherry pick. With all those dots that you connecting, well, there's still a cherry pick, bro. It's like you're looking for ways to disguise the cherry. Oh no, look, this is a good cherry though, because with this one right here, there's all these things that have happened in the past. Well, forget about the past, bro. Boxing, remember, say, boxing is a what have you done for me lately sport. Look how everybody did Devin Haney. Look how everybody did Devin after what happened with Ryan Garcia. And after they didn't like the way he beat Jose Ramirez. He was done. He was cooked. Boxing is a what have you done for me lately sport. All that stuff about, ooh, nah. I don't want to hear that. This is what I really want to hear. Look. You ain't been... When was the last time, bro? The last time that Deontay Wilder was a world champion was how many years ago again? When was it that Wilder and Fury fought the first time? Like, bro, it's been a lot of years since Wilder been a champion. A lot. Tay John, were you a Wilder fan in his prime, Jay? I mean, look, I would say I've always been a fan of Wilder because I enjoy watching him, and I have a lot of respect for him. You know why? Because he had a very short amateur career. We know about that. He don't have that amateur pedigree, and he went pro. You know, first of all, as an amateur, he accomplished a bronze medal on a very short amateur career. And then he went on to become a professional and climbed all the way to the top to become a world champion and defended that title. So I got mad respect for Deontay Wilder. Um, and I will say, and people don't want to hear that, but Wilder, he does have limited skills. Because of his late start in boxing, he's limited. So for him to be limited and still go all the way to the top, that shows a lot. Everybody knows about the right hand. Everybody knew about the right hand. Yeah, he kept knocking them out. So you gotta respect the bronze bomber. Gotta respect him. But you see, that's the thing about me. I'm realistic. I tell you how it is. Having respect for him doesn't mean that now I'm gonna cap and be like, yeah, Deontay Wilder, he could knock Usyk out. He could. Nah, I'm not gonna cap like that. I'm gonna be honest with you, and I'm gonna tell you, bro, he done. If somebody's done, I'm gonna let you know. I'm gonna let you know. Sammy Chiba, salute my brother. Yo, Sammy, there's the hotline right there in case you want that smoke. 829-786-4609 on WhatsApp. If you don't got WhatsApp, download it and call in. Oh, hold on, MAW, I missed it. MAW, basically, all I'm saying by putting all these things together is that Usyk is looking to achieve 3 times heavyweight undisputed, but you can't achieve 3 times heavyweight undisputed by fighting a guy who doesn't have a title. I don't understand that. Yes, Wilder is a cherry today, but the next champ on resume, on history books. But Wilder doesn't make him a champion. Wilder's not even a world champion, so that's why you're still connecting something that doesn't connect. Wilder doesn't have a belt. I don't know. It doesn't make sense. But if it makes sense to you, hey, that's what makes sense to you. That's what it's about. Sammy Chiba. Yo, Jay. What's good? Jay Smitty, what's good? What's the deal, my brother? You see the phone number right there. What say you? Tay John. I feel you, MAW. Sammy Chiba. No smoke, big bro. It's not about smoke. You can call in and also just chime in. What's your opinion on it? Tajon J, do you give Lennox Lewis credit for beating Tyson? I give him credit. I give him credit. Of course, Mike Tyson wasn't in his heyday when they fought, but I still give him credit. Listen, I'm the type of person, because I've been in the ring, man. I know what that's really about. I know what is about to hit and be hit. So I always give credit for the wins. You're never going to see me. I've never been the guy to say, oh, he only beat him because the guy wasn't the same. He only beat him because the guy, he has something in his mind. Nah. I always give fighters credit for their wins, because at the end of the day, you still have to get in there and win the fight. You think in that dominant performance, Lennox Lewis didn't eat some big shots from Mike Tyson and had to keep it moving? Yeah. So I give him and everybody credit for getting that W. MAW. No, I didn't say final part. Wilder is just a fill-in before Usyk versus Warley to regain WBO. Sorry, left that part out. It's like I told you, bro. I don't see how Wilder fits into the picture. He's not even ranked. He's not even ranked. What is Wilder ranked? Outside of the top 100? It just doesn't make sense to me, bro. To me. I feel you. You know, I feel you. To you, it makes sense. To me, it's like, damn, Wilder, like this guy's cooked. This guy's done. Like, what are we doing? John Parham, Wilder should fight Moses, if anything. You see? That's what makes sense to me. Wilder fighting a up and coming young gun so that you prove yourself. Like if you going up, Moses Itama or one of them guys, you prove yourself by beating Deontay Wilder. Come on now. You gotta prove yourself. Deontay Wilder could be a gatekeeper for them guys. I'm sorry, but he not gonna beat none of the world champions. We know this. John Parham, Wilder never had skills, just haymakers. Now I disagree with you. I think he had skills, just not elite level skills. He had elite level strength and a frame that allowed him to offset his lack of skills. John Parham, I got Moses though. You have to understand too, Moses Itama ain't never been in the ring with no Deontay Wilder or nobody of that caliber. Come on now. John Wilder definitely has skills. And his skills was landing that shot. See, here's the thing about boxing that it's hard to see if you haven't been in there like that. You see that obliterating punch that put people to sleep? You got to set that up. You don't just go in there, boom, sleep them. It takes a certain level of skills to land that shot and to keep landing it and to even land it when they know it's coming. Everybody know you just got the right hand. Everybody know that's what you're coming with. Everybody trains for that in their training camp, yet still get knocked out. It takes a certain level of skill to do that. And let me give you an example. I fought a 4-rounder. In that 4-rounder, in my pro debut, my only fight, I probably landed like 5 right hands in 4 whole rounds. And I'm saying, like, you know, good ones that landed good, like 5. In 4 rounds of action, I wasn't landing that accurately with that right hand. So it looks easy on TV, my people. But landing that shot, boom, flush, with the right timing on your opponent, is not easy. At all. If you're just standing in front of each other and you just go like this, 9 times out of 10, you're not going to land it because your opponent's going to make you miss. You got to set up that big shot. You got to feint. A couple of rounds, jab and feint. You got to throw that right hand to the body a few times, bam, make him block it. You got to throw a looping hand, make him, give him some things to think about. And then when you finally go, bang, he wasn't expecting it. He thought something else was coming, you caught him flush. But landing that shot, you know, it takes skills. So I give it to Wilder. Listen, and I promise you, my peoples, if you don't have a certain level of skill, you'll never become a world champion. Ever, ever, ever. There's a minimum skill level that is required for you to climb up the rankings and beat all of these opponents and get a title shot and win. Take skills. Nobody will ever go all the way there without skills, with just a punch. MAW. So if Usyk beats current champ, oh man, you still on Usyk versus Wilder. And you're still talking about undisputed. All those accomplishments got nothing to do with beating a washed fighter, bro. You keep talking. He beat a washed fighter. All of those accomplishments that you want to bring into this don't go into this, bro. As hard as you want to do it, bro, it just doesn't go. If he beat Wilder, he beat a wash fighter that people gonna say he cherry pick. He's not gonna get any credit for. It's a no point type of win. Sammy Chiba, boxing is the hardest thing I tried as a kid, and well, you see the guitar in my hands. Well, you decided to still use the hands, but there you have it, bro. You went from taking punches to playing music. Boxing is a tough sport. And because I've been involved, I've seen guys who are very, very good boxers who never become world champions. I personally met and I personally know real good boxers who never grabbed the title. That happens. So when somebody grabbed a strap, if somebody put on a strap, my peoples, they earned that. They won. They got certain skills. The Elite 24. What's good, Box Center? Salute, my brother. Bam. Side. I get what you're saying. If Usyk beats Wilder, he'll have a big 3. Look at that. I'm telling you, like, this is some real fan shit right there. A big 3, like. My people, the line is open. The line is open. The League 24, the line is open. 1-829-786-4609. Chime in. Chime in, my people, on WhatsApp. Now, the main topic of conversation, which we digress because we talked about a million topics, is Terence Crawford versus Canelo Alvarez. And we already know how that fight played out. We already know that Terence Crawford reportedly wants $100 million. $100 million. There you have it. 100 M's. That's a lot of money, my peoples. That's a lot of money. There's people that say he not worth that. He shouldn't get that amount of money. And then there's the people that's like, yo, give him his paper. I'm with it. Give him his paper or no fight. The leaks. Nobody wants to see Usyk Wilder at this point. Bro, MAW is probably the only person I heard say that. Like, I haven't heard anybody make any type of positive argument about that fight before, besides MAW. Everybody so far has said, yo, I don't want to see that fight. I don't want to see that fight. We don't want that fight. You know, so MAW is talking about, I guess, what he thinks Usyk might be thinking. So we're going into Usyk's head. I don't know what Usyk is thinking. I don't have that power, but I will say I don't want to see that fight. And I don't get it twisted. If they fight, I'm watching, but I don't want to see the best guy, a guy that's arguably a pound for pound fighter, one of the most accomplished in the game, fighting Deontay Wilder, who's been inactive, who's lost 4 out of his last 6 fights. Think about that. 4 out of his last 6 fights ended in a loss. And then the guy that he beat, you never heard of him. You never seen him fight. Come on. We never seen him in the ring. So at the end of the day, what do we want? MAW, do you want the best fights, or do you want, oh, well, I'm thinking about the legacy of Usyk and what the legacy might be, and I'm thinking about what he's thinking about. Nah, I want to see the best fights. That's where I'm at, MAW, and you're going to see that I'm always consistent with that. I don't build a whole puzzle to figure out why this makes sense. I want the best fights. That's nowhere near any of the best fights. When you see fans who are asking for the best fights, nobody's going to ask for Usyk versus Wilder. You could put it together to where, well, it makes sense to Usyk for these reasons. Well, I'm not Usyk. It doesn't make sense to me, bro. You don't realize MAW, but you keep making it make sense for Usyk. Yo, I'm not Usyk, and most of the fans ain't Usyk. We want to see the best fights. So all those dots that you're connecting, bro, nobody connecting them dots. They not entertaining us. What's entertaining us is the best getting each other in the ring and trading leather with each other. That's what's gonna entertain us. Not, well, look at all these dots right here. That's what's really gonna make sense for him. You know, you could get it into his mind and what you think he thinks is gonna make sense. But what's gonna make sense to the fans is for the pound for pound fighter to face one of the best. Not for him to fight a guy that's been inactive, that's gonna get beat up out there. A cherry pick when you're a pound for pound fighter. I don't wanna see it. I don't wanna see it. Tay John, I feel you, bro. Just giving my opinion. Nah. And listen. That's what this is about. This is about sharing opinion. This is about, because everybody's not going to have the same perspective. It's as simple as that. Side, Wilder will be a lamb to slaughter at this point in his career. Come on, man. Like, I do not want to see that fight. That's not the fight that I would pick for Usyk. When I'm considering, you know, where Wilder has been the last few years, he's gonna be a cherry pick for pound fighter. He a cherry pick. Let's be honest. And by the way, Deontay Wilder is 40 years old. 40 years old, removed from being a champion for years, lost 4 out of his last 6 fights. Man, please don't give us that. Please don't give us that. The Elite, who will you pick for Usyk now? Who would I pick for Usyk now? I mean, I think there's some good fights to be made. I'll give you an example. What's a good one? Zhilei Zhang. Matter of fact, he knocked out Wilder. You see? Big Bang Zhang knocked out Wilder. And he's taking a loss here and there, but that's a fight I like. Because I know, you know, he'll big dude and he'll be competitive. That's a good fight. So I want Usyk to fight someone who will make it interesting in there. You know, Wilder, fight somebody who's up and coming. And show if you're going to get knocked. Because if you get knocked out by somebody who's up and coming, then we know that you should have never been in there with Usyk in the first place. Because that's another thing. That's another thing. MAW. Sometimes we say, well, that fighter didn't earn that shot. And then sometimes we look the other way. Like, is there anything that we can say remotely that would suggest Wilder earned the shot to fight for a title with Usyk? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Nothing to. So, for me to be interested in that fight, I gotta see Wilder get a big win. For me to say, okay, he can compete. He go out there, go fight Wardley. He go out there, beat Fabio Wardley. I'll tell you, okay, get him in there with Usyk. He beat a guy that beat Parker. But you know, he a star, and he did all these things in the past. Yo, bro, boxing is not a lifetime achievement award. They celebrate those things later down the line, but while the career is active, it's not a lifetime achievement award. You're a guy that's washed, you know, beating lower level opponents and getting beat by the top level guys. And haven't held a title in years, and you're 40 years old. Too late. Too late for that. That's never going to be considered a big win. As a fan, you could consider it a big win, But it's just gonna be considered, oh yeah, he beat a washed up guy. Big deal. It's gonna be one of those wins. Tay John, Richard Torres gonna beat Usyk if he get the shot now and later. Nah. If Richard Torres gets the fight now, he gets cooked. Cooked. And I'm gonna tell you why Richard Torres get cooked. Down the line, yes. If Usyk fight him at 39, 40 years old, he getting cooked. Right now, nah, bro. Sorry. Richard Torres, I'm going to tell you what's the worst flaw that he has. And you can take this to the bank. When he get knocked out, this is going to be why he's going to get knocked out. And let me just say, I believe in him. He can fight. He can fight. And he'll probably become a world champion. But he's going to end up getting knocked out at some point. And it's going to be brutal. And I'm going to tell you why. The biggest flaw you see in Richard Torres, and you see it fight after fight, when he opening up on a fighter, like to try to get him out of there, and he start doing these punches. Bang, 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 bang. Your face be wide open, be like that, look. Bang, 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 bang. He's just doing it really fast and really hard. But he does that. And I'm telling you that that's something that's already built in him. When he goes into instincts to try to get you out of there. And from doing that, at one point, somebody going to time his ass and catch him with a shot flush right down the pipe and sleep him. The type of sleep that they fall forward with their ass up, boom, is going to be one of those. Richard Torres, he can fight. I like him. But, that thing that he does like that is going to catch up. He's going to catch up, trust me. Remember I told you that. Face down, ass up. When you find one of them big dudes that can counterpunch in the middle of this, boom! They're going to give him a nasty one. If they can't clean that up, and I doubt it because that's just part of his mechanics, you're going to see. Side, I see Moses doing him dirty. Oh, my God. Moses Itauma does him brutally. Because Itauma's sharp. And I see Fabio Wardley, too. Fabio Wardley brutalizes him. Why? What Fabio Wardley got? Bread and butter. That straight right hand down the pipe. Boom! You know how many times he landed that thing on Parker? Like a heat-seeking missile. So, Richard Torres, they got to work with him. He's still in a process of development. He's still fighting lower level guys. But I got to tell you, man, he not ready. He not ready, bro. And Richard Torres, I like him. It's fun to watch his fights, his aggressiveness. But he could get a little bit sloppy, man, with that defense. And when he letting them hands fly, shit. Side, Usyk is 38 already. Oh, shit. Usyk is 38 already. He might go until he's 40. But look, Deontay Wilder's 40 right now. Side, open for a counter. And that's what I'm saying. When you throw them looping punches, Side, Torres, it's a brutal KO waiting to happen. I see Moses doing him dirty. Bro, I'm telling you. Them punches, them white punches like this, that's for you to get knocked out, face down, ass up. That's how you go to sleep with those. MAW, Moses versus Wardley. would be nice. It's possible since both Queensberry fighters. We'll see, but I respect if Usyk beats Wilder. WBO unification will follow. I see that you respect it, man. At least Wilder's gonna have one guy that respects it because nobody, I've never heard anybody that wants that fight so far. Nobody in the comments said they want that fight. So, you're gonna be on a lonely island, but I'm pretty sure Wilder's gonna appreciate you. I want Wilder to fight guys that he could be fighting, that he could potentially beat. I want Usyk to be fighting the top guys. I don't want to see the pound for pound fighter in the world, somebody that people believe is number one, fighting a 40-year-old Deontay Wilder who hasn't been a champion in God knows how many years. Look, I'm consistent with it. No cherry picking for nobody. I don't want to hear it. I do not want to hear it. No cherry picking. You the best? You one of the best? I need to see you fighting the best. Step in there with the best out there. Step in there with the people that are in your level. That's what I need to see. MAW, Moses is a great trap setter. He draws them in. Bam! Bro, Moses Italma, and I said it before. He's only, 20, 21 years old, I think. He's a special fighter. I see him being able, as someone who has the talent to accomplish a lot. But being that young, they got to take his time with him. Deontay Wilder's a good step-up fight for him. Get his feet wet with somebody who's been at the top. Like, he's going to beat him up. I tell you what, I don't know if Wilder would even take that fight, to be honest. Deontay Wilder versus Moses Italma, I don't think we'll see that fight. I have a hard time seeing Wilder fighting him. I don't see it. I don't see it at all. Not happening. With Usyk, that's different because Wilder knows he's going to get beat up, but that's a nice payday. That's a nice payday, my peoples. You're going to get that paper. So, but let's see how it all plays out. Nothing is signed, no done deal. People are just talking. We don't really know. Tay John, I'm out, Jay. The show gonna be big, bro. Yo, Tay John, salute my brother. Yo, look. Goofiest of the Oofiest had one caller. One person dared to be great today on Goofiest of the Oofiest. And that was Tay John. So Tay, yo, salute my brother. You the first guy to call in. Had a great talking point with regards to how much money Crawford should or shouldn't make. I appreciate you. You already know what it is, my G. My peoples, we about to end this thing. Want to give a shout out to everybody who tuned in. You see what this is about. We're going to be talking boxing. The only difference is, you're going to be able to call it in. You're going to be able to call it in and say what you want to say. You got to remember, my peoples, Box Center, the original Box Center channel, we're over 2,000 subscribers, so a lot more people are going to get a notification or are going to run into the live. And right now, we're at 70 subscribers, so this channel has to keep growing. But let me give you the heads up. Goofiest of the Oofiest is going to be on every Monday at 6 p.m. Eastern Time. So this show goes down once a week. And normally, this weekend, we didn't have a lot of big fights, right? But there's some fights coming up. So normally, since this show is on Monday, we're going to be reacting to those Saturday fights. Got a lot of big fights coming up. A lot of great episodes of Goofiest of the Oofiest. Yo, salute to everybody who tuned in. Salute to everybody who shared your opinion. Tay John, MAW, Cy was in the building. John Parham, my peoples. Y'all already know what it is, man. Goofiest of the Oofiest will go down next week on Monday at 6 p.m. Eastern Time. Do not miss out, my peoples. This is going to be on and popping. Jay Smith in the building, but I'm about to be out the building because I'm signing it off. My peoples, this was the Goofiest of the Oofiest, the podcast. I'm out of here. Bam.